to my channel. So today's video is one that I've been meaning to film for the longest time. What we are going to be talking about today is how you can easily transform your thrifted clothes or even just like old clothes in your closet that you just are having a hard time parting with and you want to like keep them around for a little longer and make them look more expensive and bougie and luxe, whatever you want to call it, just nicer in general. Because I feel like there's this stigma around thrifted style and thrifted clothing that like it has to look a certain way, but that is a total misconception because you can find so many different styles at the thrift store, even like things that were just in the stores, because sometimes people just donate really quickly or there's dead stock. So there's definitely a ton more options than a lot of people think. And yes, these are all very simple little hacks that don't really require sewing or any machines or anything of that sort, because I know we don't all have those tools, and I'm still working on bringing my sewing machine out again from the basement closet. So just bear with me. There's going to be like a sewing one, like an easy sewing one coming hopefully, you know, more towards the springtime when I get around to that spring cleaning. But for now, let's just jump into it. First area that I want to touch on is denim. For the longest time, I would go to the thrift store, I wouldn't find any Levi's or any of like those brand name jean brands, and I was really discouraged. I was like, okay, how are people going to the thrift and getting like 5 pairs of Levi's at once? I will tell you guys that it does take some time. It takes a lot of like searching through every section, the women's section, the men's section, even the little boys section. But once you find some good pairs, I feel like it just kind of like the ball keeps rolling, because now I have like a closet full of vintage denim, or thrifted denim, I guess you could say. But a nice way to make them more modern is to just literally chop off the bottom. I'm not going to dive too much into this. My friend Rachel actually just uploaded a really cool video about like some really easy ways on how to alter your denim and make them look refreshed and new again. But for me, the easiest way to do this, because I don't have a sewing machine at the moment, is just to give yourself that frayed hem, frayed bottom look by just taking your scissors and literally just chopping away. And then the more you wash them, the more frayed they'll look, and you could even take a tweezer and like pull out at some of the little threads to make it more vintagey looking, I guess you could say. So my tip there is find a pair that fits you like decently well, go on some sites and get some inspiration off of like the trendy denim sites, and get your scissors and you're good to go. The next section I want to talk about are the blouses and kind of like button-up shirts and even like silk pajama shirts that you might find at the thrift store. So traditionally, if you see something like this hanging on the hanger, you're not gonna think too much of it, but this whole silk satin material is so in right now and so poppin' on Instagram, like just with like glowy skin and like tan, it just, you know, it's a thing and people love wearing this type of material. So my biggest tip for you guys is to actually think past like the initial style of the top or the blouse, tank, whatever it might be, and think of how you could wear it differently on your body. So by this, I mean, can you tie it up in a knot? Can you make it really cropped? Can you wear it off the shoulder a little bit by like leaving the bottom buttons done up and then the top ones open? There are so many different ways that you can style these tops to make them look brand new and totally different than they are on the hanger. So I know it can be hard sometimes to like think past what something looks like on the hanger, but trust me, do it, try it out, because you can get blousey tops for like $2 or even cheaper than that, and you can transform them into really nice like going out tops, photo taking tops. So my next trick is to layer your thrifted pieces. And this might sound obvious because like people layer in general, it's not groundbreaking or anything like that, but personally my favorite way is to layer something like an old band t-shirt or a silky tank top that I found in like the lingerie sleepwear section, is to just layer something that's either mesh or a turtleneck underneath of it, because that whole vibe from like the 90s and stuff is totally coming back right now. So you can even thrift yourself. I don't know how well you can thrift mesh because that's like more of a recent trend, but you could totally thrift yourself some good basic turtlenecks. I recommend getting like a black one, a gray one, and a white one, and just putting those under things is gonna make your whole look a lot more put together. I know that tip was kind of like self-explanatory, but it's a little thing that even I forget to do sometimes, but when I do it, I'm like, whoa, I look a lot more presentable now than I did 2 seconds ago. So number 4 is another kind of obvious one. I feel like these are all kind of obvious, but things that we need to be reminded of. And that is just the classic chop and crop that you guys usually in the summertime ask me about, because in all my summer hauls, I tend to say, I'm probably gonna crop this. And then I get a lot of comments being like, well, how do you crop it, Sarah? Please tell us, please spill how you do your cropping. And to be honest, guys, I'm very messy with my cropping just because a lot of the times I'm keeping the items and I just take some scissors and literally just, I wing it. Like, the more you do it, the more you practice, the more you know how much fabric you should be cutting off for your specific body type. But the one thing I will recommend is getting yourself a good pair of fabric scissors. I'm actually missing mine, so these are not the fabric scissors that I recommend you guys getting, but they can make the world of a difference because they're meant for cutting fabric, and it'll just make it so much smoother. You won't have to go back over anything, and it's just a hassle-free way of cutting your fabric. So highly recommend that. If you're really scared about the length of it, I recommend trying on the item multiple times, hemming it, or even drawing on it with like some chalk or something like that on the inside so you know it's gonna come off. I promise you guys, it'll turn out probably 9 out of 10 times, if not 10 out of 10 times. And just honestly practice on something that you don't really care about first. Maybe it's like something in your wardrobe that you just are gonna give away, and then see how it goes. Just trial and error, folks. It's all about trial and error. Another thing though is just make sure the fabric is thicker. So generally I will crop things like polos, crew necks, hoodies, thicker t-shirts, anything that has a tighter knit that's not gonna totally unravel when you put it in the wash. You definitely don't wanna go ahead and like chop a knit sweater because that's just gonna like be a hot mess. But always crop a little bit longer because keep in mind in the wash it'll probably roll up a tiny little bit. So this is like my 4A tip, I guess you could say, and to be honest I haven't done this yet, but I think that a really cool way to get a very trendy style looking top would be to look in the bodysuit section. And I know a lot of you are probably like, okay, this girl has lost it, but personally I've never considered buying a bodysuit before. But if you want to get that really like Instagram trend lacy looking top look and you're kind of disgusted by the bottoms of bodysuits like I am, you could just go ahead and crop that, chop that right off, because you know that's like the most iffy part about it. So if you get rid of that, you're fine. You just have to be careful about like the stitching and everything because those items tend to be a little bit more fragile, but totally recommend it. It's a great way to refurbish something that's old and probably no one wants to wear ever again. So take that piece, just wear some gloves maybe, and get rid of the bottoms. They gotta go. So my next tip for you guys, I don't actually have here, but I'm gonna insert as much footage that I can find from elsewhere, and that is to get yourself one of these machines right up here on the screen. I don't even know what they're called, but essentially they're like a fluff ball remover for your sweaters and like your pants. I know that a lot of like fluffy sweaters or even workout pants and stuff like that, sweatpants can get really bally the more you wash them, and sometimes you might find something at the thrift store. Maybe it's like a vintage Fila or Champion or something really cool that you want to get, but it looks very worn. I have heard nothing but good things about these little devices. I'm gonna link one down below for you guys. They're really, really affordable, and yeah, all my friends rave about them. I don't know why I don't have one yet, but I don't have that many like bally items in my wardrobe, but apparently they get the job done. And the last thing that I want to share with you guys today is kind of like a bonus, extra thing, and that is just be careful about how you style your things, tucking your stuff in, cuffing your stuff. I'm not going to get too much into this, but it's kind of common sense. I think like if you take a little bit more time in the morning to just tuck your shirt in properly, or you know, cuff your sleeves a little bit better, throw in a belt, throw in some earrings, accessorize is so key. That's going to kind of be a whole other video, so I didn't want to get too much into that. Let me know if you guys want to see a video about like accessorizing and tucking and stuff like that, because I filmed one actually like last year and never uploaded it, so let me know if that's something that interests you guys. Alright, so that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope it inspired some of you that aren't thrifters to go out to the thrift stores and try and find some items that you can make modern and luxe and Instagrammy looking. Instagrammy, that's not a word, but it'll probably be a word in like 5 years from now. Anyways guys, don't forget to subscribe, thumbs up if you want to see more content like this, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye-bye!